Hey, I'm back with my crazy hair, and I'm really excited that we're going to talk a little bit about habits and routines in this month of August. And you already know that building habits into your lifestyle is a way to make things that you want to do a little bit easier, but we also know that just doing something over and over and over doesn't make it a habit. This is exactly why, we see a lot of the time with diets, you can eat the same meal over and over, but it doesn't make it a habit to eat that type of meal. So this is why we need to understand how to involve habits into our life into a way that actually fits into the framework of the way that we live. And so a lot of you have mentioned that creating solid routines is something you'd love to do. And this is some information that I think is going to make it a lot easier for you. Some of us have already talked about these things in our sessions, but I think that a reminder is always really, really helpful. And sometimes you may see things in a different way. So one of the best ways to start looking at habits and adding in new habits or breaking old ones is to look at what you're already doing. And you already know that a big part of my coaching is about bringing awareness to our current actions, thoughts, and habits. And understanding what those are is actually really helpful in creating new habits and routines. And you may have heard me say this before, but I like to think of it as identifying your tiny anchors. And so your anchors are behaviors that you don't even think twice about. They're things that you do every single day, habits that are such an ingrained part of your day that they feel natural and they feel easy. And some of them might be productive and they lead you towards the life you want to live, like maybe you drink water every single morning or you always go for a morning walk with your dog. Others might take you farther away from how you ideally want to live, like scrolling on your phone before going to sleep or, immediately sitting down on the couch first thing when you get home from work. And there are a couple things that we want to consider here. What do you already do every single day? And you may think like, oh, well, it changes day to day. And actually, I'm going to challenge that. And I want you to think about like, yes, some things do change from day to day, but some things, no matter what, you do every single day. So be very specific here. And then we also want to think about how can you facilitate an environment that makes a routine or a new habit easy for you. And I understand that some of us have environments that change or we move homes or we go on trips, and that's totally fine. You can facilitate that environment no matter where you are. It just takes a little bit of thinking ahead and a little bit of getting used to. And also, how can you lower your expectations? So this is something that people are like, what do you mean lower my expectations? But actually, if you lower your expectations, it makes it easier for you to succeed. And so you might think like, well, if I lower my expectations, I'm going to succeed less. That's not true. It may take slightly longer, but it will also be a lot more consistent. And I know consistency is something that we all struggle with so much. So I want you to start looking at your tiny anchors. And these are the things that you're going to use to start building a routine, but also understand that like these things can change over time and they actually will change as you continue to develop new habits. So for example, you might look at your phone first thing in the morning, no matter what. And maybe that's something that you want to change. And some of these things can be so simple as just like, okay, well, now I'm going to plug my phone in the kitchen at night so it's not in my bedroom, and I'll go online or I'll go to the store and I'll buy an alarm clock. There you go. It is now way more difficult for you to look at your phone first thing in the morning because it's not in the same room as you. So that is an easy way to change some of these anchors. Or you might notice that maybe one of your morning or one of your daily anchors is making a coffee every single morning. You just go automatic pilot. You don't even realize that you're doing it, and it's something that's easy for you. And so that may be an anchor that you want to start using to build onto and adding onto new habits. And so we're going to talk about this a little bit more in the future. But homework, first thing I want you to do is to take note of all of your anchors. What do you do every single day without fail? For example, you wake up every day. You probably pee every day. You probably brush your teeth every day. You drink water, maybe you make your coffee, you check your phone, etc. Make a list of all of these things because this is going to be really helpful when we look at what do we want to start including and how do we make it easy to include those things in your new routine or in your daily life.